All right, we're going to get started here in a second, folks. Just have to find the comments and good Monday morning. Hey, we made it through holiday weekend, right? Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. And before we get started with hot weather, chance of storms, and some relief to the heat, let's say hi to some folks. Let's say hi to John Pribick. Good morning to you. And Carol Fosberg. Good morning. Eva Van Wagner. Good morning. And Linda Skillman from Pentwater. Good morning to you. And Tammy Moyer from Dearborn Heights. All right, let's get to it. We're going to talk about hot temperatures. Of course, we're going to talk about the humidity increasing. That's been one thing that hasn't been terrible and will be increasing at some point in the next couple of days, and the chances of storms finally come into there. All right, so let's start with the European model just to give you an overview of what's going to happen here. So today is dry, and as we get to tomorrow afternoon, everything kind of indicates at least scattered thunderstorms developing, mostly in the UP northern half of lower Michigan, Detroit, Ann Arbor, Jackson, Kalamazoo, probably Grand Rapids, Lansing, probably not just yet. And that would be an afternoon and evening heat and humidity type thunderstorm. So once the sun sets, then those go away. And then we go into Wednesday, same as what we've had, hot, and Thursday. But as we get toward the weekend, and I'm going to show you this on an upper level chart because that's the way storm systems show up better in the middle of summers on the upper level charts. But as we get toward Friday into Saturday, there's actually a full-fledged upper level disturbance that will increase our chances of thunderstorms again. And I would say that this thunderstorm pattern coming Friday and Saturday is not a sure bet at any one spot, but it's a sure bet that we will have some thunderstorms around Michigan. Some of us probably going to be left high and dry, and some of us might get a decent quenching of some rain. So, hey, thank you, Stephanie Cat Reese Wedding, for sharing. I appreciate it very much. And yeah, if you could get on here and share and let folks know this is how we do it here on MLive in the morning. I'll get to some questions if you have some here. Wait, and then I'll watch for them. So this is Friday night, and then this is Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. So Friday into Saturday, a weather system working its way through, and that basically ends the heat wave, at least for a couple of days after that, gets us into slightly cooler temperatures on the way after that. All right, here's the high temperature forecast, and it is high. It is a hot one. Here's today, again, about like what we've had, low to mid 90s. Good morning, Tracy Lynn from Saginaw. And here's Tuesday, like we've had. Here's Wednesday, midnight, low to mid 90s, let's call it. Thursday looks like it could be one of the hotter days with some upper 90s, maybe in the Detroit area, Ann Arbor to Flint to Saginaw, maybe 97-ish or so. Yeah, that's getting pretty hot. And then Friday, we're still in the 90s on the east side of the state. The showers and thunderstorms becoming more numerous, probably holding it out of the 90s west side of the state. And then we go to Saturday. There's a little bit cooler. And Sunday down into the 80s. So Saturday into Sunday is when the end to the heat wave comes again, maybe for just a couple of days. And I'll show that to you here in just a moment. Okay, so here is the dew point temperature. Now, don't try to understand exactly what it means, but just know that if we get in the mid 60s with this kind of temperature, it's going to feel quite humid. If we get to 70, it's going to feel very humid. If we get above 70, it's oppressive with 90s. So this is this afternoon. So we're still kind of in a dry air mass across lower Michigan with dew points probably in the 50s to about 60 in the heat of the day. That's not too terrible, about like what it was over the weekend. Now, as we go into tomorrow, you could see that the dew points going up in places to 70 degrees while still little pockets of dry air roaming around. And then by Wednesday, we're humid. We have dew points in the upper 60s to about 70 everywhere. And remember, I showed you Thursday could be the hottest day. And again, dew points near 70 degrees. So that would probably be a heat index over 100 degrees. Now, as we get to Friday, that storm system is approaching. And as a result, the humidity goes up and the dew points go up. So Friday will be oppressive, even if the thermometer says it's a couple of degrees lower. And as we get into the weekend, you can start to get a feel for how a northerly wind will start to bring some drier air in to our area for early next week. How much precipitation? Well, remember, bear in mind that one of the least accurate things that computer models do is forecast amount of precipitation when you have thunderstorms. It's still, convection is the thunderstorms, and modeling convection is not done the greatest versus say a winter storm where everything's kind of uniform in amount of precipitation. So total rainfall through the weekend, hey, at least there's some rainfall painted on the state of Michigan, right? You know, you're talking quarter, half inch, 3/4 in spots. But what it means is if you get underneath a thunderstorm complex, you could get a half inch, 3/4 of an inch, but it's not one of these widespread heavy rainfall patterns. And as we go out 10 days, we don't add much onto it. So there will be some places helped by some thunderstorms, but I wouldn't count on every place being helped as we get toward the end of the week. Just not in the pizza kitchen. 113. Hey, we grill our pizzas outside. Does a great job. Do the crust first, because if you don't do the crust, then the toppings will be done before the crust and be burned. So I grill one side of the crust for about 2 minutes. I flip it over, grill it for another 2 minutes. So it's kind of about half done. Top it. Make sure the toppings, like the sauce, is piping hot to help it. So you put the sauce on, then you put the cheese on, toppings, whatever. Put it back on the grill. Watch the bottom of the crust so it doesn't burn. And I take my soldering torch if I want to speed up the top, propane torch. Heat up the top. That'll melt the cheese, heat the toppings up, and it'll keep the crust from not getting burnt. All right, there you go. So this is the upper level forecast. Okay, and I want to show you this because it's important in the summertime. So this is the way the atmosphere looks right now. What you're looking at is everything on here is 500 millibars of air pressure. It's just at a different level. So when the atmosphere is hot, that level is up higher in the sky. The atmosphere expanded. Heat expands the air. When the atmosphere is cold, it's more compressed. So we can get a feel for what the surface will be like by looking at the upper level winds. And that's where the disturbances in the storm systems and the rainmakers show up in the summertime. They don't necessarily show up as this strong low pressure system at the surface. Hey, good morning, Alto Vata. Great golfing with you yesterday. So we are into Tuesday, Wednesday, and what you're seeing is that pink area that's over Michigan on Thursday, that's warm temperatures. That's why I say Wednesday into Thursday, if there's full sunshine, probably will be the hottest days. Now, you see that bend moving across Minnesota, Wisconsin? I'm into Friday. Okay, that's the upper level disturbance that could bring us the showers and thunderstorms. Hey, Alto, that golf game was a good one. Okay, Barbara's on top, and I could flip it. Okay, thank you. Hey, good morning, Tiffany Hall from Napoleon. I don't know where that is. Okay, so now we go into the weekend and look at how the flow has turned around to the northwest, and that's why we get a cool down. And then one last thing I want to show you as we go into next week, this will be July 15th or so, look at what the upper air pattern looks like in the middle part of the country. Now, we are hot in that situation in Michigan, but we're on the edge of the heat. The middle part of the country could have just a flat out rip-roaring heat wave. I wanted to show you this one last image. This is the computer model from that same time. Okay, we're on the edge of the heat, but look at the kind of heat that upper level configuration would bring. Yes, that's 105 to 110 degrees back in the Plains states. Hopefully Michigan just stays on the edge of it, but if that is the case, I would say we'll probably have 100-degree reading somewhere in Michigan, probably in the third week of July or so. Hey, Roberto Acosta, how will the heat impact air quality this week? Thanks. Well, when we have warm temperatures aloft, we have stagnant air. We have a lot of times what's called a temperature inversion at times, and that traps everything at the surface. So you will have poor air quality. It can build up. We need a storm system to come through, get that wind moving, get it scoured out. We need rain to wash it down. So we're going to see air quality probably decrease each day until we get to about Friday or Saturday and start to get the showers and thunderstorms into the area. All right. So there you have it. Hopefully, if this was your first MLive morning weather update, hopefully you grabbed a cup of coffee. I'm meteorologist Mark Torregrossa, chief meteorologist at MLive. If you're not checking out our weather, please do on the MLive weather page. Gail Baker, hi from Adrian. Hello. Rain? Probably for you, not until Friday night or Saturday afternoon, more likely. And we're all in the same boat. If you want a percentage, I hate to say it, but it's probably a 50-50 shot in any one spot the way it looks right now. Hiking in Aspen, Colorado, July 21st to 26th. Warm conditions. Let's go back, John Carmona. Let's take a look. Because we can do that here on the MLive morning weather update. Let's go back and try to find you an answer for that one. I don't know that we can go back that far. All right, we're at July 15th at that point. That's 10 days out. So I would say the heat wave is developing out there. I would say you may have very hot conditions. You probably want to check on that one because I don't know how Aspen, of course, it's higher elevation, so it can be a little bit cooler. But it can also be raging hot, dry, harsh conditions. You're going to want to prepare for that one definitely because it may be, kind of on the dangerous side for dehydration, things like that. Even if they're 90, 95, they can have a very low relative humidity, 10, 15%. Alrighty, so there you have it. I'm going to leave you here with a hot day on the way. So thanks for joining me. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. You take care, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.